Giving a few moments till I see the little indicators that people are joining us today. Hi, Peter. Welcome to the news feed. Facebook Live feed. It's not really news feed. Hi, how's it going? Hi, Meredith. Hey, guys, I see. Hi, Adam. I see some folks are joining us. You may hear some heavy breathing. Hazel's actually snoring, and I'm propping my phone on top of her head because she has to be completely on top of me. I'll actually show you. Happy Earth Day. I don't know, can I show you? That pile is Brody, and this one is Hazel. So flip it over, let her sleep. Why news? Hi, Sally. Hi, everyone. How's your, whatever day today is going? Wednesday. How's your Wednesday going? Hello, my friend. Hi, Debbie. It's good to see you. Debbie, I have your magazines still. I didn't forget. I look at them all the time. Meredith, Gizmo was snoring so loudly through my whole work video conference call earlier today. Is Gizmo your cat or your dog? I don't remember. But they just do these things at the most inopportune time, but I was a little too lazy to get up off the couch. So today is Earth Day. Did anyone do anything special? He's my older dog. Oh, buddy, Gizmo. I knew a cat named Gizmo. Yeah. I think Barb, Sean, who's the co-founder, his mom, I want to say her cat was Gizmo. Yeah, the snoring, I bet, has gotten louder. So I want to hear from you guys. Did you do anything to celebrate nature, celebrate the earth, the beauty today? It started with some snow, and then there's sun and blue clouds. Mother Nature's really showing us all the seasons in one day even. I actually bought some plants. I ventured out. I was wearing a mask. I had a lot of sanitizer, but I bought some flowers to plant. And I ran into, ironically, right, you're in a mask, it's hard to tell who you are. But I ran into two friends. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Emily. Good to see you, Emily. I haven't seen you in a long time. Seen you, right? I ran into two friends who were looking to buy a tree. It was the garden section in Home Depot. And they said in honor of Earth Day, they were going to buy this tree and plant it and visit it every year on Earth Day. And not really talk about it or share about it, just plant this tree and have a way to kind of acknowledge Earth and nature and the beauty that's all around us. So I thought that was really neat. And I'm going to try to plant. I kill anything that grows, really. So I bought these plants. I have some topsoil. We're going to see what happens. They're all on my dining room table. We'll see. They might die before it gets warm. Who knows? Out of my control. So I know Kirsten didn't do the daily readings that she does today for What's My Intention, but I've been really into this daily meditation book, Journey to the Heart, Melanie Beattie. It's pretty good. This is the one I read out of yesterday, and I really liked the reading today, so I'm just going to share it with you guys. Here it is, April 22nd. On the other side of fear is joy. Climb over the wall of fear. Fear can be like a brick wall on our path. We may say we want to move forward. We want to feel better, do something new, live differently, go to the next place on our journey. But if we have unrecognized fear about that, we may feel like we've hit a wall. We don't know we're afraid. The fear is tucked and hidden away. all we can see is that for some unknown reason, we can't seem to move forward in our lives. We're in the dark. I don't know about you guys, if you've ever experienced, I sometimes am paralyzed by fear. I don't know what to do. I don't know, I can't make a decision. Fear really has a way of dominating me. And it could be rational, obviously rational fear, right? Fight or flight. It could be irrational fear, entirely irrational fear. I'm afraid of so many different things. I'm afraid of judgment. I'm afraid of what people think of me. I can be afraid of outcomes, of looking dumb or looking bad. I know for me, I go do a lot of meetings with some relatively important folks in the community, professionals, doctors, clinicians, whatever it is. And although I know my worth, something about being with people of such, I don't know, seemingly, right? Here's that word, seemingly high stature makes me shrink, and I feel like less than, or I feel as though what I'm going to say is stupid, right? And I forget my own worth in that moment. I forget that it's so important to stand in my truth, that if I don't speak my truth and share my thoughts, we may not have a voice at the table, right? And Meredith wrote, yes, fear paralyzes me. I get panic attacks, and so often I don't even realize that there's fear there, but there is, and it always holds me back. But I'm getting so much better and not letting it stop me. Fear is a vicious, vicious thing. A friend of mine, when I talked to her about being resentful or resentments at other people or situations, whatever, she always asks me about the fear. It's her belief that every resentment is associated with a fear. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately. When I have situations where I get frustrated or I don't like the outcome, I don't like what someone said or what someone did, I think about what is underlying, what is underneath that? What's the big deal if I don't like what they said or did? Why is it impacting me the way it is, right? Why is it taking away my peace? And I've been trying to associate the fear with that irritability or that resentful kind of feeling. And it's been really interesting to draw that line and make that connection. Let's see. Or we may be conscious of our fear, but be refusing to deal with it. I've been there. We have talked ourselves out of honestly addressing the fear by telling ourselves to be strong and brave. While there is much to be gained from pressing forward at certain times in our lives, there simply are other times when we cannot do that because our fear holds us back. And isn't that so true? When we discount our fear, we tell ourselves we're strong, we're brave, we're all these things, we're discounting that fear, right? And when we don't acknowledge what we're feeling, those feelings grow and those feelings fester. So when we acknowledge our feelings, be it fear, be it whatever, we allow them to be. We acknowledge they lose some of their intensity, some of their power over us, right? Hi, Patricia. Welcome. I see you just joined us. Meredith wrote, being afraid I'm not good enough, not a good person, can't learn new things, etc. A lot tied into toxic relationships I've had, which include my last job, which absolutely was a toxic relationship. But with a lot of hard work, I was able to overcome it, and it was the absolute best thing I've ever done. It takes a lot of work. Growth takes a lot of work. We don't just magically get to where we want to be. We have to put in the effort. We have to put in the work. We have to work on our recovery. Sally, I fear. Yeah, I like that. I too fear because I know how incredibly paralyzing it could be. And I know when I'm afraid, there's certain things I'm afraid of that are, rational, irrational. Things like heights. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of getting hurt to some extent, and I just get paralyzed. I see other people, running through it, doing like, for example, I did a Tough Mudder, and I was just so afraid of heights. And other people are just, having fun, jumping around, whatever it is, and I was just paralyzed. Like, I wanted to. There was one kind of like swinging bar thing. That's Hazel moving around. My phone's propped up on her head, if you guys didn't hear me say that earlier, but I wanted to so bad. It was kind of like the swinging bar. And underneath was a net. And I knew nothing was going to happen. I knew the net was going to catch me if I slipped off the bar. And people were having so much fun. And that fear, the fear of the fear paralyzed me, right? I allowed it to take over. Meredith wrote, let me see. Let me see all of it. This is so spot on from the experiences I've had with fear anyway. Name it, let it be. It loses some power and lets you move forward. Adam, for me, my fear is directly parallel to my faith. When one is high, the other is low, or vice versa. I like that. I like that very much. Because having faith, right, like in that net, if I had faith that net was going to catch me, because it was catching people that were bigger than me, weighed more than me, big dudes. I had the fear, right? I didn't trust that net to catch me. So my fear overpowered my faith, right? I know it's a simple analogy, but that kind of made sense to me. Gently face your fears one at a time as they arise. Let each fear surface into consciousness. Tell yourself you know it's there. Then release its energy. Let it dissipate into the air. Don't be afraid of what you'll find. The feeling is only fear. It's only as strong as the amount of power we give it, right? The feeling is only fear. That's it. There's a magic I've learned over the years. It happens when I feel my fear. My life changes. I become empowered to move on. Barricades I have not been able to penetrate crumble and disappear. And all I had to do was simply face and feel my fear. I wanted to share that reading with you guys. And I thought it really touched me. I thought it was really a good reading. Yeah, especially lately. I think I don't know if I talked about it yesterday. I've been dealing with kind of like a situation that's been causing me a resentful situation or whatever it may be. Frustration. There it is. I've been having some frustration with a certain situation. And I've been really looking at how it impacts me and why it impacts me as strongly as it does. And what can I do to resolve some of it, to not have it take up so much space, because it was taking away my peace. It was taking away my serenity. And Sally, no growth in the comfort zone, no comfort in the growth zone. Yeah, I dig it, because I had to take some uncomfortable actions in order to try to grow from it. Absolutely. I say it all the time. You don't know, or you can't see true joy without having experienced pain, right? Or there's always darkness before it's light. And those have been in some of the readings I've shared with you guys. A lot of the stuff I say, I mean, some of it's unique thought, but other things it's just from reading or talking to different people. I'm always interested in learning new perspectives and seeing how others view the world, other opinions. I'm kind of like a dreamer in many ways, Sometimes my ideas are, I don't know, visionary in the sense of like fairy tale stuff, right? Because recovery is kind of like a fairy tale thing for me. From where I was when I entered recovery to now, to what recovery has become and what it's done for me and others, it's one of those like visionary fairy tale things. So I sometimes think in kind of more, I don't know, seeker, dreamer, part hippie, I don't know, whatever you want to call me. But I've just always thinking of like changing the trajectory of things, changing systems, changing things that no longer work, right? They no longer serve me, they no longer serve our community. And those all really come from uncomfortable places, right? In order to like speak up, there's some fear associated with it. There's discomfort in going up against old ideas or challenges, right? Challenging situations. I don't often share my opinions, so to speak, unless they're like, so how do I put this? Recovery doesn't get involved in, like, as an organization, in conflict, in controversial topics. We don't really have an opinion on those things. We're really just here for community, right? We advocate, we educate, but we don't take kind of stands on things. And of course, like me as a human, I have my own feelings and opinions, and I don't share them like through recovery. I don't really often share them on my Facebook page, more so with my closed circle. But I just because we don't get involved in controversy of any kind doesn't mean we won't take a stand for recovery. And that is one thing, no matter what, is we will stand for recovery. We will advocate, we will educate, we will do everything we can to spread hope to our community, right? I don't know where I got on that. Oh, when it comes to like visionary and thinking about systems, right? And just all different systems and some of the flaws in our systems, and trying to brainstorm ways to make them better. Well, people don't always want to hear change, right? They don't want to hear that their way's not working. So it's a very delicate subject to broach. And that really can apply to relationships. I kind of just went on a tangent, but that really can apply to our human relationships, right, with one another. There are times when there are delicate subjects that we have to broach with people, right? Setting healthy boundaries, acknowledging ourselves, our needs, right? Paying attention to intuition, that inner voice that sort of tells us, my kind of moral compass, I don't know, my inner voice, my conscience, does speak to me. I get sort of signals around safe people, unsafe people, situations, my gut, right? It tells me different things. And so if we don't honor our intuition, we end up causing harm to ourselves, more harm to ourselves and others. Fear creeps in. Fear's a big one. I won't be accepted for who I am. You'll judge my opinions. You'll judge my thoughts. You'll think I'm stupid. You'll think my fairy tale idealistic ideas are dumb, right? Like all these different things. And then I'm stuck in fear. And then I don't use my voice. I don't speak up. I don't speak my truth. And the cycle just continues, right? And essentially, I'm just stuck. I'm paralyzed until I acknowledge that fear and until I take action to use my voice, to speak my truth, to be genuine and sincere. Right? I think about, and today I kind of took a tactical pause. I had one meeting at noon, and then I had a 1 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, something else. And I just said, not today, Satan. And I did my noon, but then I kind of like work related stuff. And I went and got plants. There wasn't this, so the reason I'm saying it, one of the meetings I struggle with because I don't, it's kind of like a larger scale meeting, and I don't quite agree with some of the things that go on there. So I don't like going, right? Or virtually, whatever. But then I had a conversation with someone about it, and the voice of recovery is not represented at this particular group. And if I don't go, as much as I may not like what's being said, what I have to say matters, right? Because I can speak about recovery. I can speak about how actions of certain people impact those in recovery. So I skipped it today, but it happens since COVID, I don't know, 4 times a week. So it happens quite often. So I will get on it next time. But if I don't go to these meetings, and the people that go there will agree, sometimes they're mundane, sometimes they're tedious. We have meetings for the sake of meetings, right? But if I don't go to these meetings, then the voice of recovery may not be heard, because if not us, then who? And if not now, then when, right? Hi, Karina. Another recovery all-star. So yeah, if not us, right, then who? Who's going to speak on our behalf? Who's going to ensure that our mission, our vision, our agenda continues to be at the forefront? Patricia wrote, "Take what you need and leave the rest. Bring your voice, it's needed." Yeah, kind of think of it, reframe, right? Reframe the way I view things and think about things, and the importance of using our voices, right? Because we may be saying something that someone else is thinking, but isn't able to speak up, right? Isn't able to say it. So we give permission by standing in our truth and using our power to create change in our community. So I hope you... Oh, one thing just popped into my head. Those that joined yesterday, we talked about gratitude lists, but sharing, messaging, or reaching out to friends and sharing with them 5 things that you're grateful for about them. I wanted to see how you guys did with that, if anyone gave it a try. I know, I have my hair standing directly up. Sorry about that. It's going to bother me. It's fine. I get tired of looking at myself, by the way. Mary Jo, hi there. I'm going to keep this one hair down. Anyway, so one friend did reach out and sent me a message, and he wrote 5 things he's grateful for about me, and it just made me feel so good. It was just really nice. It was personal, it was different, it was unique. So I'm wondering if anyone else gave that a try yesterday. I'd love to hear from you. This is going to drive me nuts. Do you guys see this? I can't tell where it is, but there's one hair sticking directly up. There it is. Got it. Sorry. Hi, Mary Jo. Yes. No more hair sticking up. Hi, Mary Jo. You're not late. You're right on time. Plus, if you want, you could always go back and watch the feed again. Let's see, how are we doing here? Yeah, so I'd love to hear from you guys. If you tried the 5 things you're grateful for, sharing that with your friends. I want to hear the feedback. And I want to really hear your experiences with fear. Reflect on the reading, today's meditation reading, At a Journey to the Heart. Think about the ways in which fear gets in the way of you. You saw that hair. Wasn't it wild? I don't know if I had it the whole time. I just noticed it. Noticed it right before you joined. I'll definitely watch later. I was watching Todd Baxter on Channel 10. Ooh, I missed him. I'll have to go back and see what he had to say. He's wonderful. He's actually on our board. He's one of our board members and a good friend. So he's a cool dude. What was I saying? Yeah, so if you can, think about some of the ways that fear has impacted you in your life, and some of the ways that fear has prevented you from reaching your dreams, right? Or working towards your dream, rather. How fear has gotten in the way of your pursuits. And whether it's doing a pros and cons list of staying in fear, whether it's journaling, that's another really important thing or helpful thing. Whether it's talking to friends, asking them what they think about, or have they've dealt with fear, running the situation by them, um, anything of that kind. I really challenge you and encourage you to take a deeper look into your own personal fear, your experiences with fear, the ways in which fear has, I want to say stunted your growth, but not stunted your growth. Fear has blocked you off from doing the things you want to do, achieving the things you want to achieve. And is it worth it, right? There's a saying that I've heard a gazillion times, when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, right? So when the pain of sitting in that fear is greater than doing something about it. Mary Jo, fear is the biggest piece of what holds me back with taking my Serpa further and getting a job. Yeah, that's a really huge insight. And thank you so much for sharing your fear with us, for sharing a little bit of yourself. And because fear, Meredith, just repeating her comment, fear holds us back from achieving our full potential. It's so powerful and awful. Yeah. And fear oftentimes is not based in truth. Fear is in some ways like chaos of our own making. It's not, feelings aren't facts, right? Here's another, I'm like super cliche tonight. Feelings aren't facts. So although you have this fear, it may not be based in truth. And Mary Jo, I know you, and I think you would be an incredible Serpa, an incredible peer, and you would find a lot of purpose, and you would help a lot of people. So if you ever want to chat, you know how to get me. Definitely hit me up. So I encourage you to take a look at some of those things. Take a look at the ways in which fear has gotten in the way of your pursuits. And think about, are you ready to take those steps to face your fears, to challenge your fears, to do something different? And I'd love to talk more about it tomorrow. Or reach out to me, shoot me a message. I'd love to chat. Love you lots, Mary Jo. Love you guys. Thanks yet again for making my night. I hope you are staying safe. I hope you have a great evening. And I shall see you all tomorrow. Stay safe. Bye.